Most so-called senior-friendly smart home devices are just surveillance engines dressed up as safety tools. I've tested dozens of these systems, and the amount of data they collect on vulnerable people is honestly disturbing. I'm Chelsea Miller, and today I'm walking you through a privacy-first checklist that actually works. Devices that keep your parents safe without uploading their every movement to corporate servers. You're listening to the Smart Home Setup Podcast. Quick heads up before we dive in. Everything you're hearing, the research, the data, the script, that's all human work, written and verified by real people. The voice delivering it is AI generated, just so you know. If you've been listening for a while, thank you. Really glad to have you back. And if this is your first time here, welcome. We drop new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's jump right in. This checklist focuses on local-only control, offline functionality, and protocols that don't require cloud accounts. I'll break down exactly which devices work without internet, which ones are constantly phoning home, and how to build automation logic that keeps working when your Wi-Fi crashes. Aging in place shouldn't mean handing over your parents' behavioral data to Amazon. Let's start with essential monitoring and alert devices. These are your early warning systems. When something goes wrong, you need to know immediately. And you need that alert without subscribing to some service or letting third-party AI analyze your loved one's movement patterns. Motion sensors using Zigbee or Z-Wave are crucial. Deploy them in hallways, bathrooms, and bedrooms to track daily activity patterns. Zigbee motion sensors like the Aqara Motion Sensor P1, check the link below to see the current price, work entirely locally through Home Assistant with latency under 50 milliseconds. If there's no motion detected between 6 and 10 in the morning in the kitchen, you can trigger an alert. The automation logic looks like this. If the time is past 10 a.m. and the kitchen motion sensor hasn't been triggered in 24 hours, then notify the family group. Here's the critical part. Wi-Fi motion sensors almost always require cloud connectivity. Avoid them. For more detail on protocol-specific reliability, we've got a full breakdown comparing Zigbee motion sensors versus Z-Wave motion sensors in terms of latency and reliability. Door and window contact sensors, also Zigbee, help you track wandering behavior, especially at night. Place them on exit doors and medication cabinets. The automation logic might be, if the front door opens and it's past 10 p.m., turn on the hallway light and notify the caregiver. The Sonoff SNZB04 sensors report state changes in around 100 milliseconds on a healthy Zigbee mesh with no cloud dependency. If your coordinator fails, the sensors store the last 10 state changes locally. Water leak sensors are non-negotiable. Place them under sinks, near water heaters, behind toilets. Flooding creates fall hazards and cognitive stress for elderly people. Aqara leak sensors send instant local alerts through your hub with 80 to 100 millisecond latency. No subscription, no cloud analytics tracking bathroom usage patterns. Smart buttons or panic buttons using Zigbee or Thread should be mounted next to the bed, in the bathroom, by the front door. Simple one-press emergency alerts. I prefer Zigbee buttons running through Home Assistant because they trigger local automations in around 50 milliseconds. Cloud-based medical alert buttons often charge $30 to $40 per month just for the privilege of calling 911 on your behalf. Your alternative logic is straightforward. When the bedroom panic button is pressed, turn on all the lights and call the emergency contact. If you want to integrate these buttons into multi-sensor alert chains, our guide on the best fall detection smart home systems covers that setup. Environmental sensors for temperature, humidity, and air quality are more important than most people realize. Elderly adults have reduced thermoregulation. A room that feels fine to you might be dangerously hot or cold for them. Aqara temperature sensors report every 5 minutes locally via Zigbee. Set boundaries. If bedroom temperature drops below 65 degrees Fahrenheit or climbs above 78, notify the family and adjust the thermostat. No cloud AI needed. Bed occupancy sensors, either Z-Wave pressure mats or Zigbee millimeter wave sensors, track sleep patterns and detect nighttime wandering. A pressure mat under the mattress reports simple, occupied, or vacant status. The logic might be if the bed shows unoccupied and it's between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m., turn on the bathroom light at 20% brightness and start a 15-minute timer. If the timer expires and the bed is still unoccupied, notify the caregiver. This runs entirely on your local hub. No sleep data uploaded to be cross-referenced with health insurance eligibility. Here's the data leakage report you need to hear. Cloud-connected senior monitoring platforms like CarePredict and GrandCare transmit activity data to remote servers every 30 to 90 seconds. In my packet captures, these systems sent location pings, movement timestamps, and even bathroom visit duration to third-party analytics services. Build this locally instead. Now let's talk about lighting and visibility automation. Poor lighting causes 60% of falls in elderly adults, according to the CDC. Automated lighting that responds instantly without fumbling for switches is non-negotiable. But most smart bulbs are Wi-Fi devices that require cloud accounts and fail when your internet drops. Motion-activated pathway lights using Zigbee or Matter should be installed in hallways, stairs, and bathrooms. Use Zigbee bulbs like Philips Hue or Singlid, or Matter-compatible lights connected to a local hub. The automation? If motion is detected in the hallway and the sun is below the horizon, turn on the hallway light at 40% brightness, 2700 Kelvin color temperature with a 2-second transition. That gradual 2-second fade-in prevents startling disorientation. Latency matters here. Zigbee responds in 100 to 200 milliseconds. Wi-Fi bulbs can lag 1 to 3 seconds if they're cloud-dependent. Our guide on smart bulb response times covers exactly why this matters for fall prevention. Bedside smart lamps using Zigbee or Matter are essential, but here's the thing. Voice control is unreliable for seniors with hearing or speech issues. Use a physical Zigbee button or bed occupancy sensor to trigger the light. If the bed shows unoccupied and it's past 8 p.m., turn on the bedside lamp at 10% brightness. Low-intensity nightlight prevents dark adaptation loss. Matter bulbs work, but verify they function locally. For interoperability warnings, check our comparison of Matter smart lights versus Wi-Fi smart lights. Automatic bathroom lighting is where most falls happen, specifically during nighttime bathroom visits. The logic: if the bathroom door opens and motion is detected and the sun is below the horizon, turn on the bathroom light at 30% brightness, 2700 Kelvin. Wait 5 minutes, then turn off the light with a 5-second fade. That 5-minute timer prevents shutoff while the room is occupied. The 5-second fade gives a warning before darkness returns. Important detail: use warm color temperature, 2700 Kelvin. Cool daylight bulbs disrupt circadian rhythm and cause sleep fragmentation. If you must use voice-controlled lights, Google Home and Alexa are cloud-dependent surveillance devices. For local voice processing, consider options that work through Home Assistant's Assist or Raspy. Latency will be higher, 300 to 800 milliseconds versus 150 for cloud services, but your parents' every utterance won't be transcribed and stored on corporate servers indefinitely. Our article on voice-activated smart home devices for seniors covers the local options. Here's the cloud-free viability breakdown. Zigbee lighting scores 9 out of 10 for offline functionality. Bulbs respond to local commands even without internet. Wi-Fi bulbs typically score 2 to 4 out of 10. Most require cloud authentication on every power cycle. Thread bulbs score 7 to 8 out of 10 with proper Matter controller setup. For protocol-specific fallback behaviors, check our guide on smart light bulb protocols, Zigbee versus Z-Wave versus Matter versus Wi-Fi. Moving on to access control and entry management. Locked doors and forgotten keys create safety risks, but smart locks that require app unlocking are actually worse, especially for seniors who don't carry smartphones. Privacy warning here. Many smart locks upload entry and exit timestamps to the cloud by default. Keypad smart locks using Z-Wave or Thread are your best option. Choose locks that support local unlock codes without cloud verification. Z-Wave locks like the Schlage Encode Plus connect to Home Assistant and authenticate codes locally with around 200 millisecond latency. Set unique codes per caregiver to track who enters, logged locally only. The automation: if the front door is unlocked by the caregiver code, notify the senior and turn on the entryway light. Thread locks are emerging, but options are limited. See our guide on the best Thread-enabled smart door locks under $300 in 2026 for current models. Auto unlock by presence using a Zigbee presence sensor works for seniors who struggle with codes. Trigger auto unlock when their personal Zigbee beacon approaches. If the senior's beacon is within 5 meters, unlock the front door and turn on the entryway light. Privacy concern to address: this uses relative distance only. No GPS tracking, no location history. Beacon battery lasts 6 to 12 months. If the beacon battery dies, keypad codes still work. Auto lock after entry prevents accidentally leaving the door unlocked. The logic: if the front door is unlocked and the door is closed, wait 2 minutes. If the door is still closed after 2 minutes, lock the front door. That 2-minute delay allows time to enter and prevents lockouts. I tested this automation for 8 months. 0 false locks, 0 failed relocks due to door alignment issues. Doorbell cameras with local storage only are rare, but they exist. Most video doorbells are cloud-only subscription traps. Reolink and Amcrest offer models with local SD card recording and RTSP streams to Home Assistant. No person detection AI required, just local motion alerts and live view access. See our subscription-free security camera guide for setup details. These cameras do have one glaring weakness: weatherproofing often fails around the SD card slot after 18 to 24 months of rain exposure. Interoperability limitation to be aware of: Z-Wave and Zigbee locks cannot communicate directly. They require a unified hub, Home Assistant, Habitat, or SmartThings. Matter lock support is still fragile in 2026. Don't rely on it yet. Check our Matter 1.4 compatibility checklist before buying. Let's get into health and environmental control. Temperature regulation, medication reminders, and air quality management, all without sending your parents' health data to pharmaceutical ad networks. Smart thermostats with local control, Wi-Fi, or Matter are necessary. Ecobee and Honeywell thermostats work with Home Assistant for local scheduling. Set bounded automation. If the living room temperature drops below 68 degrees, set the thermostat to 70. If the living room climbs above 76 degrees, set the thermostat to 74. These bounds prevent hypothermia and heat exhaustion. Cloud-free viability is about 6 out of 10. Thermostats need initial cloud setup, but most functions work locally afterward. See our guide on the top 7 Matter-compatible smart thermostats for multi-protocol homes for models with the best offline capabilities. Smart plugs with energy monitoring, Zigbee or Matter, detect forgotten appliances via power draw. The logic: if the coffee maker draws more than 50 watts for 60 minutes, notify the senior that the coffee maker is still on and turn off the switch after 90 minutes. Remote shutoff prevents kitchen fires. The Sonoff S31 Zigbee smart plug, check the link below for current pricing, reports power usage locally every 5 seconds with no cloud dependency. For protocol-specific recommendations, check our guide on the best smart plugs for energy monitoring under $50. Medication reminder automations using a speaker and light cue work without relying on smartphone apps. Use a local speaker, Home Assistant text-to-speech, or an offline MP3 player, plus a light flash. If the time is 8 a.m., play the medication reminder audio file and flash the bedroom light blue 3 times. This runs entirely offline. Repeat every 15 minutes until acknowledged. If it's past 8 a.m. and the medication taken toggle is off, repeat the notification every 15 minutes. Air purifiers are a strange category. Many so-called smart purifiers require cloud accounts just to change fan speed. It's absurd surveillance for an appliance. Buy a manual control purifier and plug it into a Zigbee smart plug instead. The automation: if air quality PM 2.5 exceeds 35, turn on the purifier. The purifier runs at its manually set speed. The plug just controls power. No app, no account, no air quality data shared with insurers. Privacy-first alternative here. Skip Wi-Fi air quality monitors that upload readings to the cloud. Use Zigbee environmental sensors, Akara, Sonoff, that report CO2, PM 2.5, and VOCs locally to your hub. Your parents' respiratory health isn't market research data. Before you deploy any of this, print this checklist and verify each item. All devices should use Zigbee, Z-Wave, Thread, or Matter. No cloud-only Wi-Fi gadgets. Your hub controller, Home Assistant, Habitat, or a local Matter controller, should run 24/7 on dedicated hardware. Motion sensors placed in kitchen, bathroom, bedroom hallway, and main exits. Pathway lighting automated with latency under 200 milliseconds, warm color temperature at 2700 Kelvin. Door and window sensors on all exits, medication cabinets, and wandering risk areas. Smart lock with local keypad codes and auto lock automation tested for 1 week. Emergency panic buttons within reach of bed, bathroom, and living areas. Temperature monitoring with automatic HVAC adjustment within safe bounds. Forgotten appliance detection on coffee maker, stove, space heaters. All automations tested with the hub offline to verify fallback behaviors work. Caregiver notification system, SMS, local push, or secondary trigger, tested and reliable. Backup power, a UPS, for the hub and critical sensors to survive outages. This checklist assumes you're building a local control system, not subscribing to a senior monitoring service. If you need step-by-step setup guidance, see our guide on how to set up a senior-friendly smart home system step by step. Let's hit some frequently asked questions. What smart home protocol is best for elderly safety monitoring? Zigbee is the most reliable protocol for elderly safety monitoring because it creates a self-healing mesh network, operates locally without cloud dependencies, and delivers sub-200 millisecond response times for motion and contact sensors. Z-Wave works well too, but has fewer affordable sensor options. Matter is still too immature for critical safety applications in 2026. Expect dropped connections and inconsistent device support. Wi-Fi sensors drain batteries quickly and almost always require cloud accounts, which means they fail when your internet drops or the company shuts down servers. Do smart home devices for seniors work without a monthly subscription? Yes, Zigbee and Z-Wave devices connected to local hubs like Home Assistant or Habitat work completely without monthly subscriptions or cloud accounts. You own the hardware, you control the data, and automations run locally on your network. Cloud-based senior monitoring services charge $30 to $60 per month and upload your parents' activity patterns to remote servers. For offline-first setup guidance, check our complete guide to subscription-free security systems with no monthly fee and our article on how to choose security systems with no monthly fee. How do I make smart home automations reliable for someone who can't troubleshoot them? Build redundant trigger conditions, test fallback behaviors extensively, and avoid voice-only controls. For example, use both motion sensors and door contacts to trigger pathway lighting. If one sensor fails, the other compensates. Set conservative timeouts so lights don't shut off prematurely. Most importantly, test every automation with your hub offline to verify it fails safely. The worst design is an automation that works perfectly for 6 months, then fails silently when a cloud service deprecates an API. Our smart device fallback behavior checklist covers what happens when Wi-Fi or hubs fail, and it goes into this in depth. Final thoughts here. A smart home devices checklist for seniors shouldn't feel like installing a surveillance network in your parents' house. The big-name senior monitoring services push cloud-dependent gadgets that fail when subscriptions lapse or servers shut down, and they quietly sell aggregated behavioral data to insurance companies and marketing firms. You can build something better. Zigbee sensors cost $10 to $15 each. A local hub runs on a $35 Raspberry Pi. The automation logic is straightforward if-then statements. Your parent gets independence and safety. You get peace of mind. Nobody gets a minute-by-minute log of bathroom visits or sleep disruptions. I rebuilt my grandmother's apartment this way after discovering her smart monitoring service was uploading motion data every 30 seconds, even at 3 in the morning. She noticed no difference in functionality. I slashed her monthly tech costs by $480 per year. The automations still work 3 years later without a single cloud login. Test your automations obsessively. Print this checklist. Keep it offline when it matters. That wraps up this episode of the Smart Home Setup Podcast. Thanks for listening. Just a reminder, we release new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If this one was helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you left a 5-star rating and a quick review. It honestly makes a huge difference. It's how other people find the show. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe or follow so you get notified the second a new episode drops. Talk to you soon.